Hi, I'm Tom Hoskyns, editor of Mining Journal, and I'm here with Michael Rowley, who's president and CEO of Group 10 Metals. Now, Group 10's flagship project is the Stillwater West asset in Montana, adjacent to Stillwater's high-grade mines that are just next door. Hi, Michael, how are things?
Very well, thanks. Thank you. Glad to be here.
Excellent. Now, the Stillwater mines have been producing for a while now, since the 80s, in fact. How did you come to get your hands on this project? Did they missed something, according to you?
Well, I guess we happened to get a time of transition. We were also blessed to have a local who was our vendor on the project, who spotted a bankruptcy of the juniors that were active before us, and he staked the best parts of the ground. He formally bought the database, actually, which was very forward-looking of him, and set about looking for a partner. Thankfully, he found us. We did that deal in 2017, just as Sibanye announced their intention to buy Stillwater Mines for $2.2 billion US dollars. So we were already there, and we rushed to stake the rest of the ground that was open. Sibanye, of course, are not so much explorationists, they're producers, but a wonderful company, and they've grown it significantly since. And we now share the district with them as a result, and as we advance the models that we'll discuss here in a minute.
Yeah, so tell us about what's coming up at Stillwater West for you guys.
Sure. Well, the critical thing, of course, for any junior is resources, and we're on the cusp of releasing our inaugural resources at Stillwater, which is very exciting. That builds on drilling from the 60s, 70s, 2000s, and our two of our three programs to date. Our third program is underway now, and that drilling will inform an expansion of our inaugural resources as fast as possible next year. So it's a very exciting time for the company, a lot of catalysts at work. I guess the key point on our inaugural resources is that we're the first to bring in this new thinking from South Africa, particularly from the Platte Reef district. And that's correct for the Stillwater district. These are well known to be parallels. They're both layered magmatic systems. They're both world-class in scale. We are just below the producing reef mines of our neighbor, in the same way that Anglo-American and Ivanhoe are just below the Marinsky and UG2 reefs in the Bushveld. So the targets are tens of millions of ounces, platinum group elements and gold, and tens of billions of pounds copper and nickel sulfide. And that's sulfide metals in the US in a mining district that already has a smelter complex and 3 mines. And that's what we're chasing here.
Yeah, I was going to touch on the byproduct. Clearly, this conversation that we're having follows on from the copper panel that you were part of. Yeah, just how much of a factor is the copper in your thinking at the project?
It's a co-product at our levels, but it's a significant co-product. And then, given the size of what we have at Stillwater, it becomes significant overall. Our dominant value is nickel, probably followed by palladium. But copper's right after that. And the fundamental base here is a nickel copper sulfide system. That's what our neighbor is floating and then concentrating, and that's what we have. And that's what AMEX was drilling in the 60s and 70s, actually, before this Platte Reef model even came along. So it's known in the basal part of this district. We're simply the first to be adding it up. And we look forward to debuting those numbers soon.
Understood. Thanks, Michael. So yeah, I guess we've dealt with the flagship project, but you've also got some non-core assets in Yukon and Ontario. Can you give us a brief overview of what those entail?
Sure. We were active through the bear market, acquiring good assets systematically, and you could get good projects inexpensively at that time. As a result, we have 3 district scale positions, each one 100% owned. All earn-ins and obligations are complete. And each one, besides some of the best mines, are examples of their type. We've talked about Stillwater. We also have a high-grade gold project in Ontario in the Rainy River district, and that adjoins Treasury Metals and their 3 million ounce deposit that's now on its way to being a mine. We have the rest of the district, and we just signed an LOI with Heritage Mining for that one. In addition, we have another nickel copper PGE project in the Yukon called the Kluane project. And it's a large land position in the Kluane belt that adjoins the Wellgreen deposit, now being developed by Nickel Creek Platinum. We're looking forward to announcing deals on that asset as well.
Great. Okay, Michael. Well, I think that probably wraps things up for today. It's a bit of a whistle-stop tour of Group 10 Metals, but hopefully our viewers will have got a good idea of what you guys are about. So thank you very much indeed for joining us today.
You bet. We certainly invite questions and outreach anytime on our work.
Great stuff. Okay, thanks a lot, Michael. That concludes this video. All the best. Goodbye.